All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. And in this video, we're going to be backtesting the Aussie dollar. Okay, so we are just about at the beginning of April here. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Before we get into it, I just want to put out there that I do have a mentorship. We go over, we take trades every single day in there. I send my setups, what I'm looking at, and specifically just the trades that I'm getting involved with and how I'm managing them. So yes, the setups do come out before the trade actually takes place. So you can hop on my coattail and join in for the ride and make some money while you're learning at the same time. Okay, so and yes, everything that we talk about it will allow you to pass a funded account. Whether that takes 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months is completely and entirely up to you, and how much you're willing to put in into the charts, into back testing. Okay, so yeah, if you would like to join the mentorship, the link is down. The link is down in the description. We do weekly Zoom calls, right? And pretty much just send everything that's going through that's happening during the New York session or for any time for that matter. Okay, so here you can see like NASDAQ, I have a limit set here. This will be my last entry for today. Boom. We get tapped in, takes off, and I'm basically managing the trades with you, so you can make some money while you're learning. Yeah, so it'll really help your learning. It's just you need someone coaching you. Anyone who says that they have never been coached or mentored and is just all of a sudden profitable that's a complete joke. I know how hard it is, and you definitely need someone by your side for that. Okay, so feel free to reach out to me on Telegram with any questions for that matter. Anyway, and that'll be in the description as well. Okay, so let's get into this. So right now, we are currently at the 31st of March at 9 a.m. Okay, so I just want to point out here that this high needs to go. We are currently in a range, and the last low that was actually put in and not broken was this one. So just looking at structure, we have a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and this was the last lower put in place, higher high. Okay, and now we're just sort of trading in this range. And now this is another point. This is another thing I just want to say. When you're trading in a range, you want to stay away from the 50%. Okay, so pretty much everything that goes on around this area and the 50% to 60% of a range is just nonsense, and you really don't want to be trading it. And then if you look here, it's just a bunch of wicks, just a bunch of wicks, just a bunch of wicks going on in here. You want to be buying at the edge of the range and selling at the edge of the range. Okay. And yeah, that's just a little tip for range trading and how I approach it. So here we are on the 31st of March. This is actually my trading time, New York. I usually wake up around 8 a.m. and I trade from 8 to 11:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So let's actually go down to the 15-minute. And I'm just going to back test the New York session. Yeah, so let's go back to here. So around at the time that I wake up. Okay, let's go back to here. And the first thing I'm going to do is, we're going to mark out the places that we can buy from. We are in the lower half, the discount range, discount area of this range. And we can start marking out the POIs. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I'll stay on the 15-minute time frame when we're looking at POIs for this sake. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so now we're moving up. We have another printed POI at 7:45 in the morning. This is an area that I'll look for confirmations in as well if we do revisit it. Let me just pull it precisely. So I don't want to confuse anybody here. Okay, so now we've tapped in, and I'm going to go down in the 1-minute time frame, and now we can start looking for entries. Okay, so it looks like we just did already get our change of character here. We swept the lows of this supply, and we swept the highs. Okay, so this will be chalk top, and this is our chalk bottom. Okay, and whatever caused this high to go was a demand sitting in here at the extreme. Okay, so let's see if we can tap in. A lot of the times, these are the areas at the extreme that'll be revisited, and sometimes they won't. So if price were to just come back and take off without coming into our entry area, there's no trade here. Okay. Okay, now this is a flip zone. This is another area that we can get in. Okay, so if price does start to take off like this, what you want to do is look for the breaks of structure. Okay, so now we have our first break of structure here. And whatever caused this break of structure was this demand in this black candle. Okay, so now that we've tapped back in to this black candle, I want to see some rejection. I want to see an engulfment to the upside to market execute. Okay, so instead of just having a limit set right here, set here like this, and we will cover the spread just a bit. Instead of having a limit set here like this, we understand that price could completely just come back into the extreme this early and take off. Okay, so what we want to look for is some confirmation. Okay, so we get that rejection wick here with the black candle, and I like this engulfment. I'm going to go ahead and place an order as soon as this candle is printed. Okay, so we will cover the flip zone. We're going to cover some spread. We are just going to be targeting 1 to 5 for this backtesting session. And let's just say that we're taking full profits at 1 to 5. Okay, and let me just fix the colors here real quick. I apologize. This is a new premium account. Stop color, I always keep gray. Target color, I always keep blue. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so move this over, and we are into the market here. And let's see what happens. Okay, now we're in profit. Let's go back to our 15-minute time frame and just look at the last high that was put in place. Okay, so this would be a nice area to target. Yeah, this would be a nice area to target, or at least take profits at. Okay, so we already kind of ran the 15-minute high here, and we're in this trade after it was ran, which is totally fine. We're just looking for some liquidity to the left here. Okay, so let's see what happens. And guys, yeah, this could totally go south. I have not looked at this area of price yet. This is completely just live time. I've never back tested this date, or yeah, I've never done this before. Okay, so now we're stopped out. So we take a -1 here. Now we can take a look about how we tapped in here. Let me go back, and like I said, price will come back to the extreme quite a lot. I don't want to do that. Price will come back to the extreme quite a lot. Now, my stop always goes to break even at 3R. And yeah, this would have been a -1 for me. This would have been a -1 for me. And then we're going to tap in here with an engulfment. I like to see a rejection candle first before the engulfment to get in. But it's totally up to you. You back test and see what you like first. And we always have those flip zones that we can re-enter in. Okay, now we're tapped back in. Okay, so I do like this kind of rejection here. Still playing around. Let me go back a few candles. This enough for me is a rejection. So I want to see wicks. I want to see wicks into my POI, right? And then I get in on the very next bullish candle. So let's take another entry here. Stop will cover the spread. I'm not going to cover the exact spread because I don't know what it is right now. I think mine's like 0.5 on Aussie or something like that. We're targeting 1 to 5. Not quite stopped out just yet. And let's see how this plays out. Okay, so my stop would have went to break even at 3R, like I said before. So my stop would have went to break even right here. We have no idea if it's going to come back to break even or not. So we will just keep playing the market. Let me go to the 15-minute time frame so this isn't as lengthy. Okay, and we are stopped out at break even. Okay, totally fine. By this time, it is 12:45, way past my trading hours. And yeah, so we would end this day -1. And now let's go to the next day. Let's go to the next day, New York. Okay, here we are in New York. Actually, this would be, yep. So it is currently 8:45. This is kind of around exactly where I wake up. I'm going to pull my POIs that I have right now that I would be interested in buying in. This is around the 50%, so I would stay away from this. But the way this candle is moving right now, I'm okay with taking a trade in here the way that this volume is right now, because it means to me that we want to take out this high that was previously weak. Okay, so now we actually tap into this POI, this 15-minute POI. It is currently 10:30 in the morning. We have a chalk here. So up the lows, let's see if we can sweep this high. Nope. We are chalking again. Now the next high that we want to sweep is here because this was the last supply. This green candle that was printed at 10:35 was the last supply that is putting in this demand currently. Now we have swept the highs. Okay, so here we have change of character on the bottom. And we have chop top. And this is the area that I will be looking at. This was the last demand that caused this supply to go, or it was the extreme. Okay, so we don't actually know. So I'm just going to take this whole area as like a range-based area. As a matter of fact, let's just combine the two because I'm totally fine with a stop loss that is a little bit larger. And by larger, I mean like 2 to 6 pips. Okay, so let's see if we can tap into any of these areas. Okay, so we get our first flip zone here. Here is our flip. This area or this area. Okay, so either this black candle or this black candle caused the flip. And now we've tapped back in and I want to see a rejection wick. And I don't see it at all. There's no trade. That's great. Looks like we're coming back to the extreme. Let's just see if there are any more printed POIs here. So this in itself was a printed POI. That's totally fine. Steady playing around. And the trading day is just about over. I'm not going to take any trades today then. This looks like crap to me. So yeah, from almost 10 to 11, we are just consolidating. And again, we're looking for that high to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and see where we are. We are inside a 4-hour POI. Okay, so we ultimately want to be buying off of this POI. Obviously, 4-hour POI is fairly strong. Let's go to New York. Now it is currently New York time, and we've just swept the high. So I want to go back to 8:30. So this is where I usually wake up. Let's pull our POIs. This one is a potential area. Here's another potential area. And let's see if we can print any new ones or tap into this one, this first one we have. Okay, so we have a new one. And again, this one is more probable than this one. This one is also more probable than this one here. But understand that volume comes around this time. This is during New York hours. And yeah, so chances are, I mean, if it were to come back down here, yeah, that's great entry because this is discounted area. But at this point, entries from any of these POIs I would consider. Okay, so we just tapped in. And let's see. We can tap in a little bit more. We have a sweep of the lows. And we have a sweep of the highs. Okay, so we swept the lows barely. And we swept the last supply that swept the lows. Drop bottom. This was likely the area that caused it. So this is where I'm going to look for entries. Okay, I like that rejection there. And I'm entering after that candle. Okay. So we are going to enter here with our stop covering spread, targeting a 1 to 5. Okay, let's just, that's not, spread is not that much on Aussie. I like that. And let's see how we can run here, okay? Okay, at this point, my stop's at break even. We have passed 3R. But you can see now how powerful this is, right? So 3R, my stops to break even, and this even ran for 5R. Okay, so this is a +5. Let us do this here. So on the day before, we took a -1. Border. Okay, that was wrong. -1, we need the color to be black in the background. Okay, perfect. -1. We also had a break-even trade. And now we are +5. So that puts us at +4. That puts us as +4R in between these 2 days. Okay. Yep, that looks good to me. So let's go back to the 4-hour. And we are sweeping this high. Wow. Okay, so we really took off here. So you can really see how, you know, if you're targeting, I usually take 50% at 5R. I'm not going to get too much into how I manage trades because I do say that for the mentorship. That's mentorship stuff. This is running for $25R right now. Okay, so you can see how with all this stuff coming together, you can take a few hits definitely and still be very profitable. So all we're looking for is an edge, right? Some sort of system that's effective and that can put us ahead, right? Because you can guess 50% of the time if price is going to go up or down, and you could be 50% right. You know, you can be, or not 50%, you could be right 50% of the time, saying that price is going to go up here or price is going to go down today. The important thing is to just stick to the rules, okay? Stick to the rules that we do have and that I teach. So currently, it is the 5th of April 1. Let's do this and this. Now, at this point, I'm expecting a pullback, okay? This is the way structure is made. When highs are being ran and lower lows are being put in, you're expecting a pullback, okay, to somewhere in discount range below the 50%, okay? So that you would be looking to buy in here, and you'd be looking to buy, or you'd be looking to buy in here, you'd be looking to buy in here. Anything that's below 50%, of this leg, you can totally look for buys, or you can look for the 15-minute change of character, which is another thing that I will not get into. That is mentorship stuff. So, okay, so currently it is, let's go. Yep, this is past New York. I'm looking for sells on this day because I understand that once this high is ran, oops. Once that high that we were just looking at is ran, from a range standpoint, once it's ran, you expect a pullback, right? So you have a lower low, higher high, or a higher low, higher high. What are you expecting next? Higher low, higher high. Okay, let's go down to the 15-minute. Let's go to 9 a.m. around 9 a.m. my time. It is currently 8:30. This is perfect. Let's look at a POI that we can sell, and chances are, with price reacting the way it did that we just saw in the 4-hour. Let's take a look to the left of the screen here and see if we're in any sort of higher time frame area. Maybe the 1 week. Yeah. Okay. So this is where you can start to figure out when the pullbacks on the 4-hour are going to be. Okay. So you should expect some kind of reaction off of this weekly supply. And that's exactly what we get. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. We have a nice area of supply that we can sell from at this point. Price is deep in this POI. Let's just see if we do wind up, it winds up holding and we do get our change of character. Nope, we blow through it, but on the 15-minute, I think it should just be wicked through. Yep. So it's just, this is totally still valid for me. Even if price does wick above or below my 15-minute POI on the 15-minute, it's still totally valid to me. Okay. So we are looking for this demand to go, right? We sweat the highs. And we are we're not should. We don't know if we're going to sweep the lows. Okay, again, we swept the high. Now we are looking for this demand to be swept. Swept the highs again. Let me go back. Let's go back to here. Okay, you get your change of character. It's a little bit more difficult to see, but you swept the highs here. Let's pull this like this so it's more clear. Swept the highs. We are looking for this demand to go. Let's just make sure that we haven't been wicked through yet. Our body close on the 15-minute. Another change of character. We've swept the highs again. So now we are looking for this demand to go. This demand goes. And this is an area I would be willing to take a sell from. Let's just make sure again that we didn't body close above it. And we are still inside it. Okay, we've tapped in. We get a nice rejection here. This doji is enough of a rejection to me. I'm going to go ahead and take a sell position here after that black engulfment selling candle. With a 1.3 pip stop, targeting 5R. And we get taken out of the trade -1. Okay, and the reason being is just bullish pressure, right? There's no real you know, this was a 15-minute change of character here. We swept the highs and we swept the lows. Did we sweep the highs? Yeah. Yeah. I can't quite tell. So I don't even know if we did get our 15-minute change of character. But when you do, that's when you can expect to start shorting. Go back to the 4-hour. Okay, it is still at this point just 9 o'clock. And I'm still looking for, you know, for for short opportunities. Okay, so now this POI here is printed. We get another one printed. Okay, let's go back. And all these are just higher time frame flip zones. That's all they are. This POI is printed. 15-minute supply, 15-minute supply. Okay, so we've tapped in. Let's just get rid of this because that was from the previous trade. And right now we are looking for this low to go. Okay, so we swept this low. That is a chalk top and a chalk bottom. And this area or this area, just take it as a range, was what caused it. Okay, so now we've tapped in this area, we get our rejection and a black engulfing candle. I'm going to go ahead and place a trade here. And I will cover just this first area because I'm totally fine with taking a -1 and then looking for confirmations at this next POI here. So a little bit bigger stop than I would like. That's okay. I probably, yeah, that's a pretty big stop for me. 8 pips is pretty big, but I would still go ahead and probably take this trade because that's just who I am and that's just what I'm willing to risk, really. Okay, let's go down to the 15-minute and see how this pans out. Okay, so we absolutely fall off here. So at this point, we are not quite 1 to 3 yet. Now we are 1 to 3. My stop is at break even, 1 to 3.5. Yeah, my stop is at break even. Okay. We are targeting 1 to 5. And that's exactly what we get. Okay, so another +5R banked after a -1. That puts us at +8R. That'll put us at, yeah, +8R for these past few trades that we've been back testing. Okay, so that's enough for you guys to get the picture. This is a very, 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 very valuable video, in my opinion. You need to be doing this and you need to be back testing these types of trades. And I don't take profit at 5R. That's not what I do. I don't take full profits at 5R. So this would have actually been a lot more R for me in between these 3 or 4 days or 5 days that we just back tested. So within this week is probably 25R after partials. So I'd probably put that at like 17 or 18R. So let's just say 17R plus 5R is 22, plus 5R is 27. -1 is 26, -1 is 25. So that's 25R for me in this week. Okay, so you can see how these changes of character and just following order flow and following market structure all come together and how they can make you profitable if you just stick to the rules. Okay, I didn't change anything up. The rules stay the same. If you're doing different things in different trades, something is gonna go wrong, and you're not gonna be able to be consistent, because to be consistent, you have to be doing the same thing. Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys were able to gain some value out of this. This has been Samson FX. Again, if you are thinking about joining a community or joining a mentorship, trust me, you'd be in the right place. It could be very beneficial to your learning, and I'm here to help you. Okay. I know how hard it is, to be trading, or to be frustrated, and to not have the discipline. And that's exactly what I teach on this channel, and the mentorship and the weekly Zoom calls, and yeah, and so on. So if that's something you're interested in, just click the link in the description, go to my website, and yeah, this has been Samson FX, and I'll speak to you guys in the next one. Good luck and good trading.